recorded this video once already, but I used the wrong audio source. Check your shit before you record your videos so you don't have to redo them. Just take that lesson from me. We're doing an Adam Silver ideas tier list. Stuff that Adam Silver came up with now that he's the commissioner. He's been the commissioner for like a decade. But like stuff that he's come up with since he became the commissioner and David Stern like stepped down. We're going to be ranking these ideas based off how well they work, if they're actually good ideas. Some of them haven't been implemented yet. We're also stretching the definition of like what I mean by like an Adam Silver idea, but for the most part I think this list makes pretty good sense. I haven't added like a ton of stuff, so let me know down in the comments if I missed anything. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this one. J. Cole says that some people make music, some people make memes, we make tier lists. This is what we're doing now, I guess, because other NBA content is just like not that interesting to me right now. So I always feel like it's a good way to get back into things with a tier list. Let's just get into this one, man. Okay, first we got the play-in tournament. I don't hate the play-in tournament. I actually like it for the most part. I think that it needs a little bit of adjustment in terms of when like it should actually be implemented. I don't think we should be having a play-in tournament for teams that are like well below 500. I don't think the Bulls should have a chance to get into the play-in as the honorary 8th seed to get swept because they win 35 games every year. Like I also think that incentivizes teams to sandbag and be mediocre like the Bulls have been doing, because they can say, well, actually we made the playoffs, so it's actually not that bad that we win 36 games every season. Like, no, I think I kind of liked when they initially set up this idea. I remember reading somewhere that there would be like a minimum games reached or a minimum games difference between the 8th and the 9th seed to activate the play-in, and it wasn't always going to happen. I like that a lot better than like the Bulls getting a chance every year. I'm kind of shitting on the Bulls here, but that's okay. So I'm gonna throw this one in the B tier. It's a good idea, and it helps the playoffs for the most part, I think, and it's especially helped in the West. Flattened draft all lottery odds, though, that's going to go in the F tier. This has failed, like, completely, and it's done the opposite of what Adam Silver expected it to do. When they flattened the draft lottery odds, I think that the NBA thought this would disincentivize tanking, but it's done the opposite because now more teams get a chance to get the first pick if they're bad or mediocre. Like, it incentivizes mediocrity, which is almost worse than incentivizing just being shit. Because a lot of teams can get to mediocrity. It's pretty hard to get to, like, below 20 wins, though. So I think a lot of teams, like, feel very emboldened to go and win, like, 32 games a season. And you're seeing a lot of teams do that this year. In the previous years, when when, like, the 8th best, like, odds, like, win the first pick in the draft. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. It also means that, like, bad teams are just not getting the talent that they need to, like, actually properly rebuild. Washington is like counting on getting a top pick this year to like actually like maximize the rebuild. Same with the Nets, same with the Jazz the last few years. And now the Jazz have kind of missed the boat because their young players are too good to be terrible, but not good enough to be in the playoffs yet. So they better hope they get a lot from Lauri Markkanen. I think they should just go back to the regular odds because I don't think the problem was any worse back then, and this just meant that like the bad teams actually got the picks that they like were trying to get, which I think is perfectly reasonable. So I'm going to throw this in the F tier because it just doesn't work at all. I'm going to throw City Edition jerseys in... Initially, I think I had them in the C tier. I think I'm going to put them in the C tier again, but like the top of C tier. There's just way too many of them. Like, there's way too many of them. It's a logistical nightmare if you collect jerseys. Imagine trying to explain to a regular person that your favorite jersey is, like, the 2022 Milwaukee Bucks City Edition jersey. Like, they're not going to remember what that is. I don't remember what that is, because there's so many of them. There's well over, like, 150 of these at this point. I'm glad that they recycled more of them this year, because they recycled good ones, and I think that, like... it almost keeps it more fresh. It makes the jerseys, like, more important, because with this many jerseys being added every year, first of all, it's, like a capitalistic nightmare, and it's kind of dystopian to be, like, shoving this much new stuff down our throats. It also means the jerseys are lower in quality, and just, like, there's just too many of them. Like, they're not special anymore. Jerseys used to be special. Very, very few City Edition jerseys are special, and usually the ones that are remembered because of their ass. So I'm going to throw City Edition jerseys overall in the C tier. There are some good ones. I like what they do in the MLB more, where they give like a few random teams every year, like just a handful really, really good jerseys, and then they, cycle through teams year after year. I think the NBA doing that would be a lot smarter. Keep some of the good ones around every year. Like Washington should be having cherry blossom jerseys right now. If they're not going to have anything else other than like Alex Sarr and CJ McCollum once in a while, like it would be nice to have badass pink jerseys. So I'm going to throw this one in the C tier. Ah, man, Jonte Porter. So this is kind of a stand-in for all the gambling stuff that happens in the NBA. Also, like, in particular, like, just the erroneous amount of gambling ads and sponsorships that the NBA does. All the gambling shit's just got to go in the D tier. Yes, it was smart to ban Jonte Porter, and that's the only reason this isn't in the F tier, because they did have to ban Jonte Porter to set a precedent. But, like, the only reason Jonte Porter got addicted to gambling is because, like, this much, like, above ground sports gambling it's probably emboldened, like, illegal gambling, for one, because, like, there's so much above deck that's got to be monitored now. And B, it's just way too much for the average person, and it's, like, promoting drugs. Like, it's literally promoting drugs. You will never catch me taking a gambling sponsorship from anyone. That's not to say if you're a creator that I don't think you should take those sponsorships. I mean, get your bread. I'm not going to shit on you for, like, trying to get a bag. But, like, at the same time, like, I just personally don't think it's ethical. So I am not ever going to take a gambling sponsorship and unsubscribe from this channel if you see me doing that. But yeah, honestly, just Adam Silver, and yes, every other commissioner in every other sports league is guilty of this. But in the NBA, it's pretty bad because there's so much stuff going on and there's so many players and so many games. Gambling in this league, it's gone off the rails, the sports gambling. It's ridiculous. But this is not a new take. Everyone thinks this. So this is going to go in the D tier. Next, I'm going to put NBA Europe in the D tier as well. We're starting off some real stinkers. Man, NBA Europe is just a terrible idea. Adam Silver has been talking about this for a little bit now, having an NBA Euro League, basically, instead of having, like, domestic expansion. And if we get a Real Madrid, or if we get an FC Barcelona in the NBA, before we get, like, the Seattle Supersonics, I am going to punch a hole through my monitor, because that doesn't make any sense at all. It's going to alienate fans. It's going to make games even harder to watch because of the time zone difference. I don't even know how it works logistically, like the amount of flying and the amount of travel, and like, does this mean that we're going to have players from the EuroLeague in the NBA? Like, or are we just going to do it like we would domestic expansion? At that point, why don't you just have a Vegas, have a Seattle? I think most people would be receptive to those teams. At the very least, they would be in Seattle if the Vegas thing isn't working, which it looks like the Vegas thing maybe isn't going to work. We need Seattle back, like, now. Like, we don't need FC Barcelona. We don't need Real Madrid. We don't need Inter Milan in the NBA. I'm good. So I think this is a terrible idea. Let's get domestic expansion figured out first before we get NBA Europe, please. All the All-Star changes, and there's a lot of them, so I'm just grouping them all together under this picture. I'm going to throw those in the C tier. Some of them are good, some of them are shit. They usually start out good, and then the players stop caring, and the incentives become, like, not real, and then they get bad again. The tournament thing was just dead on arrival. They tried it with the Rising Stars game, and they ruined the Rising Stars game, which was my favorite event of All-Star Weekend. Then they tried it with the actual All-Star game last year and made that also completely unwatchable. So any tournament format, which they're doing again this year, and they're mixing it up with a USA vs. World format, which I actually kind of like, but the tournament format, just get rid of it. It's stupid. But other than that, like, I mean, he's made some good changes. Adam Silver has. I kind of like the changes that they made for the 2020 All-Star Game. The target score of 24. The target score at every quarter to donate to charity. I think players really got up for that for specifically the 2020 All-Star Game, and then a little bit the next 2 years. But then after 2022, shit just stopped being serious again. Which kind of sucks because that 2020 All-Star Game was awesome, and you really felt like the energy because of Kobe, obviously, and that was cool, and I'm glad that Adam Silver made that change. But, like, other than that, like, the All-Star Game is just garbage again, and no one cares about it. The rest of the weekend is all right. I mean, the skills contest he's changed, and that worked, and then now it's unwatchable again. And the 3-point contest, I like the 4-point shots. I like that they let Mac McClung participate in the dunk contest, even though he's really a G League player. But like overall, just I would say these changes at best come out in the wash, and I like that they're trying new stuff. They're trying to make this happen, but I think the bottom line is they're just not going to get players to care. Some of these players are just getting hurt too much. Some of these players just don't give a shit, clearly, so they've got to come up with a new solution, because this is really not great. The NBA Cup's going to go in the A tier for sure. I like the NBA Cup. I think this is one of the better additions they've made in the last few years. The NBA Cup is actually really, really fun. It adds a lot of stakes to like games in like November. Keeping up with the brackets and like who's in what group and like who's actually coming out is mind numbing. And some of the courts are also like they're like unbearably ugly. I'm actually not as much of a hater as the courts as some people. I think it's kind of cool. That they're doing like just a flush color for some of them. I think that's fun. I just think it would be better if they did like more fun, interesting designs, or they just did the regular courts. I really don't mind that at all, because like the Minnesota Timberwolves green screen court is like, that's like actually like like an act of terrorism. But this makes games in November and December really, really fun. The Spurs-Knicks game, I think people really got up for that. I really don't think they're going to be doing it in Vegas anymore. I think they need a better crowd for it, honestly. But like this makes games that would otherwise be kind of menial like really, really exciting. So I would definitely put this in the A tier. This is a really, really good addition, like inarguably. And it incentivizes teams to compete because you can get money for your teammates at the end of the bench, which is really, really nice, because it means we don't need guys gambling on NBA games to finance their apartment. Like we don't need that. Oh, this is a funny one. NBA bubble social justice jerseys. I'll put this at the bottom of the B tier. Good idea. Fun idea. Well, not just fun idea, but like actually had meaning. It did also create like some of these ridiculous jerseys. The Vote for Millsap jersey. These random ag group economics ones. I think this is Bismack Biyombo in the 44 econ jersey. Like, come on, that's such a deep cut. That's such a pull. Trying to explain like this photo to like a new NBA fan who wasn't around for the bubble, it would make like no sense whatsoever. But I liked these. I thought they were cool. And it made some really cool ones. It made some really like impactful messages. But it also just made these like really funny random ass players wear these really funny random ass, specifically the group economics ones. Like all the other ones make sense. Like all the other messages were very pointed. The group economics one, it's like, what are you even talking about? What, like, I have to be smart to know what is meant by that. And that kind of just got in the way, and it just kind of made it funny. But even still, solid idea. Oh, this is just, oh man. Watching NBA games in 2025, I'm going to blame Adam Silver for this one. This is going in the F tier for sure. The fact that you need access to ABC, NBC, Peacock, Prime, and ESPN to watch all the games, that's nope. It's nice having games on NBC again, and I actually think that the product in some ways has improved because of that, but like, there's just way too many hoops I gotta jump through to watch basketball in 2025, and League Pass is broken. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, I can't for the life of me understand why they don't just get someone to code a better app. I don't own League Pass, although I may actually get it for the second half of the semester, but probably not. I mean, I'm so good at pirating. Don't tell anyone I said that. I'm not actually pirating. That was a joke. But yeah, League Pass is broken. It's way too hard to figure out who's playing on what network on every given night. So this system just doesn't work. There's too many. The games are too spread out. I hate it, and especially on Prime. Like, it's even hard to pirate games when they're on Prime. So, and I'm just not a fan of the NBA being involved with Amazon at all. But that's a different topic for another day. Let's move on to Donald Sterling. I mean, I gotta throw the Donald Sterling stuff in the S tier. I mean, this was an obvious decision for Adam Silver to make, to ban a horrifically racist old man from owning an NBA team, and forcing the sale was like obviously a good decision. Not just for like competitive reasons, because like he wouldn't like discriminate against players when constructing the Clippers roster, but like also like just because like you can't have this guy running an NBA team. So yes, obviously this was like a good decision, but like, I mean, it also is also like kind of like low hanging fruit. Like, oh, really great. You banned the horrifically racist man who was recorded saying the N-word multiple times to multiple players. So yeah, I guess I'll throw the Donald Sterling stuff in the S tier, because man, that was a really crafty veteran decision by Adam Silver, but also completely obvious. And then I'm gonna throw one more in the S tier, and that is the NBA bubble, which I'll actually put up here. The bubble was goated. This was like, what a time to be alive this was for NBA fans. If not for the Matisse Thybulle like video documentary series, then I really wouldn't feel as like emboldened to put this in the S tier. But I mean, this was really cool and impressive that they were able to get this off. Like, it was very, very technically impressive. 0 positive cases. They got the season like wrapped up somehow. I think it made sense, the 8 games beforehand. Those 8 games before the season, or before the playoffs started, were really badass. You had the TJ Warren storyline, you had the Phoenix Suns storyline, you had a bunch of sick highlights. You had the Blazers, I think, like squeaking into the playoffs, and that was awesome, because I'm pretty sure Dame had like a 60-piece in the bubble playoffs, if I recall correctly. He did it the next year at the very least. And this is like a very specific thing, but the rims of these baskets, something about the way they recorded the audio, the crunchiness of the rims when the ball clanked off them, or someone like threw down like some nasty, they sounded so good. Like, it was orgasmic. But yeah, I'll definitely throw this in the S tier. This was a time to be alive for NBA fans. And by the way, no, the Lakers ring is not like a Mickey Mouse ring. I don't think that's the case. I don't think it was harder necessarily than other rings to win. I just kind of count it as like a regular championship when I'm debating it. The only Mickey Mouse thing about it was they played like an injured Heat team in the finals. That's the most Mickey Mouse part about it, not the venue, because like every team was playing on like equal home turf. I guess the only team that really wasn't was kind of Miami. So yeah, I'm gonna throw this in the S tier still. Very, very, very fun time to be an NBA fan. And last but not least, Adam Silver himself. I'll throw him in the C tier. Actually, I'm gonna throw him. I'll throw him at the bottom of the C tier. I used to think this guy wasn't a lizard. He's definitely a lizard. But I also like, he's a lizard who's like kind of cool and kind of neat. So he gets a few bonus points for that. But like, he's by no means the best commissioner. Like, I think he used to be like near the top of that list. And now Roger Goodell and whoever owns the other leagues has sort of cleaned up their act a little bit, and the NBA is becoming like a fascist regime. Saw a video about that the other day. I'll make sure to link that down in the description. The NBA becoming fascist. Really, really interesting that the parallels between the NBA and fascism in 2025. But yeah, that's gonna be the list. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next video. Make sure to let me know what I missed in this one, and I will catch you guys sometime this week with more NBA content. Peace.